That's a real nice lawn tractor. Eagle Star. What's up, guys? Same day for me, new day for you guys. I told you I got a Wish stereo. I originally bought it from a pickup because I wanted a backup camera with a single din. I didn't want to get the double din stuff. I didn't want to mess with get a new dash bezel and all that jazz. But put it in my truck and ended up putting a stereo in there, which is killer. I'm going to next video I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to install that, where to run those wires, how to make it look clean, and how to get a good sound out of it. For the cheap, I actually did it pretty reasonably cheap. You know, stereos used to be expensive when I was younger, but you know, they're coming down in price, but they're also going up. I talked to a buddy that owns the stereo shop there, and he thinks that subs are making a comeback because he's seen a few younger kids start to build stereo cars, which is really weird to me. Anyways, hopping on in the Screw 40. This is what we have for the Wish radio. I'll tell you what, when I opened it, the box was really generic. You know, it's what you, whoa! It's, whoa, God, wrong way! There we go, hey. It's what you'd expect to get a $30 radio from Wish for, what kind of packaging you'd expect. But it actually came relatively quick. I think we got it in like 2 weeks. Like I said, I wanted a cheap radio. This was for the truck that had a screen on it that would take a reverse camera. And this one will take a reverse camera. It's really nice. I ended up putting this one in here. Like I said, we did a stereo and a pickup, and I'll show you that one. This one actually doesn't have a very good sub output. So if you're getting one of these and you plan on putting a system in with this stereo, I think they said it was 1 watt sub output, which it wasn't hitting very hard at all. And the Alpine we threw in there, I think they said it's 5 watts. So it pounds a whole lot harder. This stereo does actually, you know, the overall look of it is pretty nice. According to the pamphlet, you can play through your USB movies. It's got an SD card slot, auxiliary port, and it's Bluetooth, which is a big reason I wanted it in this car. You know, no more wire coming from, you know, the phone to the stereo anymore and having to deal with that. But anyways, with this stereo, it is only 45 watts per speaker, so you're not going to get a whole, if you're looking for a loud system with this, that's not it. Really what this stereo is it's a modern looking stereo, but you're not going to get the performance out of it as far as stereo wise, if you're looking for something like that. But if you're looking for just a radio that looks good, that sounds, you know, pretty decent, this is definitely a radio for you. So let's go ahead, we'll turn the key on here, and here's a pretty cool option you can put on there. You see it says Nissan on there, but when you first start this, you know, you can actually change that stuff. So let's go here, we'll click the home button, and you got your options here. You got your radio, USB, SD card, Bluetooth music. Bluetooth is hands-free calling, which works really well. It does have the video or mirror link set up. What that is if you plug in your phone through the USB, it'll actually mirror what's on your phone to what's on the screen, and it works really nice for navigation. You have your AV set up, which would be, you know, like your reverse camera. And here in the settings, this is what I thought was really cool for what it was. You know, you can set up your time, your area, key beep, loud, brake. So what that is if your car is equipped with what's hooked up to the stereo, it'll actually quiet down as you brake. Moving on. Oop. You have your hands-free setup. Look, this is what it's going to look like when you get a phone call. This is where you can change the background. If you were to have an SD card in, you can actually change the picture. I'm going to leave that on pretty cool carbon fiber. We'll change the time here, 2020. We're the 23rd today. And then here's your languages. It actually came in English, which was super surprising to me. But here's where that setup is. You know, if you don't have a whole lot of options, you got 20 options here, which isn't a lot, but this is what's going to show up when you turn power onto the car, and it's going to tell you what it is, or what the brand of the vehicle that you have hooked up is, or what you chose. Color settings. Overall, it's pretty nice. Let's the Bluetooth works slick, the hands-free works slick. Let's get a sound out of here. Something I thought was cool is that, you can actually drag like this to get your radio sound, or to get your radio station. Whoop! Push the button. But, overall, it's a pretty nice stereo. You got your mode here where you can stream, anything like that. Might be connected to my phone. Sure is. Here's the phone mode, and you actually can change the song from the stereo without actually opening up your phone, getting it out of your pocket. As far as mode, here's your Bluetooth, where you can make phone calls. Auxiliary in, right here. Radio. And back to streaming. Back to radio here. We'll turn this down. Here's your band. When you change from FM1 to FM2. Those are the only two it has. It doesn't have an AM setup on it. This also doesn't have what when I originally opened it, I thought Wish screwed me because it felt really, really light. I think the whole thing was only like 200 grams, so super, super light. But this actually doesn't have a CD player. This has no CDs can be put in here. It's really lightweight. When you open up the top, it's just a tiny microchip. Not tiny by any means, but probably 3 inches long by 1.5 inches wide, and that's all it is in there. But yeah, like I said, USB, your SD card. I gotta trim this out a little bit here. This is a little stuck right there. There we go. But yeah, it's a pretty cool little unit. It does, what you want it to, I guess. As far as stereo stuff, sometimes that gets a little witchy, but I've had this stereo for 3 weeks now, I think 2 weeks now. And I had it in my truck. This is the first time I'm actually using it here in the car here. But I used it in the daily and it worked really, really slick, and I really enjoyed it. So I'm hoping that what the word I'm looking for, that reliability of it turning on every day stays, which I really think it will. It's a relatively cheap radio. Like I said, $30 on the Wish app. Looks good. You can hook up a reverse camera to it. You can play movies on it. It's got an SD card slot, USB slot. You play the movies, obviously through USB or SD, whichever you have it loaded on. The sound, 45 watts. It's not going to be perfect. Out of bed from a headache, and for the pills and some coffee to wash it away. But it sounds good for it's a good daily driver head unit. So if that's all you're looking for, this is what you want. That's my review. That's where I'm at with it. I enjoy it. I like the radio. I'm happy with it for 30 bucks. Bought it for 30, and I went to the local audio store and got the harness 10 bucks to hook it up. Really, really simple. One thing you want to watch when you're stripping the wires there is the wires and the pins inside that harness that would plug into the back of the radio, the factory radio or the radio harness for this new Wish radio. They're actually really, really loose on the inside of there. So if you're not holding on to that tightly, you'll actually rip that wire out of the harness. Trust me, I know. I did it with a front speaker. So what I did is I actually spliced the two front speakers on the one front speaker output for the radio. But hey, it works. We're happy with it. So yeah, that's my review. You know, what do I think of it out of 5 stars? I gotta give it a 5. I mean, it was cheap. It works. It looks good. It does everything I want it to. The Bluetooth works great. The hands-free works great. The mirror link works good. So, you know, I'm happy with it. So, it's a 5-star for me. 5 out of 5. Good job, Wish. And I didn't get the coronavirus. Later, I'm going to get the Bud Light with tomato juice virus, but it's a little kind of different. CDC doesn't really care about that. Anyways, till next time, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Don't be afraid of Wish items because sometimes they're good. And keep on sliding.